Hello friends and welcome, it's wonderful to have you here. I'm Mordheim, we are playing Mordheim City of the Damned, and I'm coming at you with a possessed build today. And the focus of the build, this is based on a build by Michael Steelfang, and the purpose of it is to be pretty speedy, relatively heavy hitting, and to incapacitate certain targets very early in the initiative ladder. So, let's first go over our skills here, and the stats are mostly dictated by the skills that we want to run. So first we're going to max out our strength, and I actually on my armor I have a rune of strength, clothing of strength. So that gets us from 16 up to the absolute maximum of 20. You can never have more than 20 of any particular stat. So that is going to give us increased melee damage and more bypass of the enemy's parry chance. And then what you do with the rest of your points in physical is up to you. I decided to put all the rest of them into toughness here. You could put some in agility if you want more dodge chance or melee resistance or climbing boost, so that's up to you. Next one, we are going to max out alertness, and actually I'm going to show you how to raise this up even higher. We need this up 3 more points to 12. I decided to split the points about evenly between intelligence and leadership, but again, that's your call. The key metric will be to get alertness up, and I'll show you that with the tomes that come with the warbands currently. And then in the martial category, we need to get accuracy up to the racial max of 12. That's as high as this possessed can get. And weapon skill, I decided to put the rest in. Actually, I don't have a choice. The ballistic skill we can't put anything into. And then let me just give a quick thought to the mutations here. These are, in my opinion, the best mutations for this build. Now, the extra arm, extra limb mace is going to get you extra 10% hit chance, and hit chance is big for this build. And the slicer arm gives you another 12% hit chance. So we're at plus 22% hit chance. And in my opinion, the, come on, let me select it. The clawfoot is very, very good. Once player progression comes out, you won't have a choice what mutations you get, but this is one of the best. Mobility is huge in Mordheim. Now on our armbands, I've got Rune of Havoc, which is a plus 4% critical chance, and that with our 12 accuracy puts our crit chance up to 25%. And that's going to complement the skills once we get to that, which are looking to stun the enemy. So it kind of gives you an extra chance to stun. Now I already mentioned we've got Clothing of Strength, and I picked a Pendant of Celerity, which gives us more initiative. You can see down here between our between our alertness, which is currently up to 9, and then our Pendant of Celerity, our initiative is at 83, which is actually quite speedy. So let's move on to our skills here. Now this is kind of the heart and soul of this build. The active skills are Strong Blow and Overpower, and the passive skills are Awareness and Concealment. And we are going to master these, but we need to tweak up our alertness first. So I will go ahead and go through the skills here, and then I'll show you how to tweak your alertness up even higher. So what you're going to do each round is you're going to start off with Overpower, and that costs 4 red pills, which is quite expensive. You've only got 9 each round, so you hope that it hits. But what it does is it's a melee attack that deals regular damage with a minus 20% chance to hit. Now recall from our mutations, we have a plus 22% chance. So we actually have a 2% chance better hit than just a vanilla possessed, which is pretty cool. So if hit, the target is stunned unless they pass a stun resistance test. So it's like when you get a crit, they have to roll a stun resistance check. This is just sort of a guaranteed stun resistance check. Well, not guaranteed, but a better chance. And what that means is, if you can stun the enemy, they're basically shut down for that round. Not quite, there's a little bit more to it. They've got a little bit left when they stand back up if they're later in the initiative ladder, which they almost certainly are at 83 initiative. But it allows you to more or less incapacitate one of the enemy units. And then after you stun them successfully, you follow up with Strong Blow for all the rest of your red pills, and that's a melee attack that does 50% damage. It does plus 50%, so 150% in total, and the target has a minus 50% chance to parry this attack. So basically you're just hitting them hard once you knock them down. And then Awareness is going to increase your melee resistance. Concealment is going to increase your ranged resistance. So let's go back to the equipment page. I'll show you how to crank up your alertness here. What you're going to do is, along the right here is your item slots. Go ahead and click one of those guys, and then you'll scroll down, and what we want is to use a martial, nope, wait a minute, we want to go up to training alertness, and this says permanently increases the maximum alertness by 3 points to a maximum of 20. So we'll go ahead and use that training alertness. Now you can see we have the option to go up to 12. We're going to click back on our items here, scroll down, and use a martial grimoire. Be careful not to click mental, they look kind of similar. So martial grimoire, go ahead and use that. Suddenly, we've got 3 unspent points. And oh my god, I messed it up. Oh, dang it. We totally did need mental. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's pathetic. But you can see where now we have 3 unspent points. We should have been able to put them into mental if I wasn't a dunce cap. And your alertness would then be allowed to be 12, which, if I didn't mess it up, would allow you to master awareness. You can see on the bottom center of the screen it says mastery. Takes 12 alertness, and similar for concealment. So if I hadn't borked this up, you would have a mastery in Strong Blow, Overpower, Awareness, and Concealment. And that's really the gist of this build. You can choose to do something else if you wanted to change, like let's take a look here. We can go Armband. So you could go here Armband of Expertise, and that would get you a plus 6% to hit. And what you would be losing is you would be losing your critical chance. So you could go with both of these guys here. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so now we would have another 12% chance. So we would go from plus 22% chance to hit up to a 34% chance to hit. So that's an alternate, but now you can see our critical chance went from 25 down to 17. I prefer the crit chance. That's up to you. So I hope you enjoyed this build. If you do this build, make sure you do not put your points into martial. Do as I say and not as I do, and put them into mental so that you can max out awareness and concealment skills. So I hope you enjoyed. If you've got some build ideas, let me know. If you've got any questions on this build, let me know. Once again, thanks to Michael Steelfang for the inspiration for this build. And do enjoy. We will see you next time.